MoneroTopia weekly news segment is sponsored by WizardSwap.io, a non-custodial cryptocurrency exchange.
Cody,
Oh, there we go. Hey guys, hi.
what's going on, man? How are you?
Good. You're in Portugal. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm in Portugal. Been here for over a week. It's been great. It's been great.
That's
Beautiful,
nice.
beautiful place. Great food, heavy food. Very the heavy food culture. I think that's because the water is so cold here. They need fat on their bones around here. a lot of heavy food, delicious food. The sun is really hot, the beach is hot, and the water's freezing.
Oh, really?
But it's been great. It has.
Yeah, Portugal is really beautiful, and I think pretty sure the biggest waves in the world they're in Nazaré, Portugal, and there's people that surf
Yes.
like 100-meter waves, like it's just
Yeah.
crazy, like 5 times as big.
That's in the winter too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, those waves roll in the winter, so I can only imagine. I mean, that is just so fierce going into the Atlantic Ocean in like February in Portugal.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine it. I'm going in here. I'm literally one of the only guys on the beach. Like the beach is packed. People all over the beach.
Yeah.
It's a big, wide Atlantic Ocean beach. A lot of sand. A lot of people on it. But very few actually even go in the water. Particularly where I am. Not only because the water is cold, but it's actually very rough seas. I'm used to swimming in the Atlantic in New York, but very strong undertow. Like it's fierce. And we're in like I guess what was once a fishing town, still is a fishing town, fishing village. And it's pretty cool. The boats go out every morning to catch sardines. They're like right off the beach. They push the boats up. They put the nets out and they pull in fresh sardines. And you can buy them off of the wives of the fishermen as you walk through town. It is a beautiful place.
It's very.
But Tony, yeah, I'll let you take it away since my connection here isn't too great.
Yeah, so actually before I wanted to show you something because I guess we're just getting into the news section, but I was on XMR Bazaar and I was just looking because you mentioned it and I was checking out the map, and then I zoomed in on Romania, and then I saw somebody selling privacy magazines, and it's really funny. You have,
oh well, I have a feeling who that is. I'm pretty sure I know who that is. I mean,
what is?
So, those are Vlad's magazines.
Oh, could be.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
and he's from that area. So he should list himself as willing to meet up for cash to Monero trades.
Yeah, I think it could be Vlad too, but it's just funny. What is Monero? And Bitcoin and Litecoin.
He actually did a fantastic job on that magazine. He produced that in concert with the last MoneroTopia. So we handed them out at the last MoneroTopia. That's when he debuted it, and it is a beautiful magazine. It's a lot of really good articles. Recommend people check it out.
I like this page, moving past tribalism. That's a nice page too. Definitely.
Who's gonna read a privacy magazine now? If he was selling Playboy magazines, that'd be different.
Wow. Okay. I mean, yeah, but
can you even find those anymore? Maybe XMR Bazaar is the place for Playboy magazines. I can see that.
Probably somebody's gonna sell them at some point. But I think the XMR map on XMR Bazaar is just super, super cool. You just, when you fly somewhere, you go on vacation, or even where you are, just go on the map and check out what's near you, because maybe you can buy some cheese, some jam, some, I don't know, maybe it's this magazine if you're living in Bucharest, or people can ship stuff to you too. So you can just explore. Like, it's really, really cool.
Yeah, and I like I said, I encourage people to list themselves on the map, right? If they, in addition to listing a listing, to just put yourself on the Monero near me map if you're willing to get contacted by fellow Monero people when they roll into town. I mean, I don't know, maybe you live in Miami, whatever it is, you put yourself on the map as willing to be contacted for cash to Monero trades. Next thing you know, you're meeting up with somebody, grabbing a coffee that's at the Monero because they're in town. You're doing a trade. it builds community. It's actually quite nice.
This kind of XMR Bazaar is going to be like you can sell your services like a Craigslist, Couchsurf. You can meet up so many websites in one. It's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. But moving on, I also just saw this article just now, and I thought to talk about it just a little bit because it's obviously ridiculous. So Venmo and PayPal users can send money to help US pay off the debt. And I actually didn't notice, but I guess that you could have done this before too. So the digital payment platforms can be used after accessing the gifts to reduce the public debt page on pay.gov. The website has existed for nearly 3 decades, allowing Americans to contribute directly to paying off the country's debt, while a total of 73.3 million has been contributed. That remains negligible compared to the trillions in federal debt. Why would you donate to the U.S. government? They're just gonna print more
Who
money.
in their right mind? Nobody. I mean, I would love to meet that person.
Yeah,
that's what I would like to know. Like, what the heck? They already charge you taxes. Why would you donate to them?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know. I guess they're just not aware of this stuff and like, yeah, I'm just gonna help off the country, and here comes my $1,000, and then in 1 second they've already printed or consumed 1,000 times your donation. So you could have just saved it, and you could have bought some Monero instead of helping to pay off.
If they accept Monero payments, I'll consider sending a Piconero if that's the case.
Yeah, 0.00. Yeah, I don't think they do. We can make a petition, and actually, since I mentioned petition, let's just skip to this one. Somebody made a petition about Steam accepting Monero, so Valve accept Monero, and here is the petition. That'll be cool. I don't know if Valve is going to, if they care about this, but it'll be obviously really nice to have Steam accept Monero. Right now we have 136 signatures out of 150. So if we somehow make it to Steam, that's huge. That's really big. So we'll see how this one is going to go. I guess we can give updates from time to time, but that'll be cool. Although I don't want to be. Oh, can you still see my screen? Oh, sorry. Wait 1 sec. I don't know what happened there. Oh, okay. Can you share my screen again? Or put my screen on the.
Yeah. Where is it? Wait.
I.
Oh, here it is.
Happened.
Sorry. It went away and then it came back. Okay.
There we go. All right. So moving on. Another whale from 2011 just woke up and sold 14,000 Bitcoin. This person is saying, "What the fuck?" So let's look at the image. Lots of Bitcoin transactions to Galaxy Digital, and yeah, it's worth a lot of money. So it's interesting why they sold Bitcoin now, and why not later? Because I also believe, even though I don't like Bitcoin, I do believe that it's just going to go up in price. So that's interesting. And then also from Digital Galaxy, they facilitated $9 billion sale of 80,000 Bitcoin for a Satoshi era investor, which is big. So this is one of the largest Bitcoin transactions in history tied to an estate exit. And here's a little bit. So New York, July 25th, 2025. Galaxy Digital, a global leader in digital assets and data center infrastructure, today announced the successful execution of one of the largest notional Bitcoin transactions in the history of crypto on behalf of a client. Galaxy completed the sale of more than 80,000 Bitcoin, valued at over $9 billion based on the current market prices. For a Satoshi era investor representing one of the earliest and most significant exits from the digital assets market, the transaction was part of the investor's broader estate planning strategy. So again, interesting choice for selling now. I mean, definitely, that's a lot of money. 9 billion. That's a lot of money. But why did they sell now? Why they didn't wait for the price to go even more, especially since now the US has Bitcoin, they're holding Bitcoin in their reserves, and the BlackRock is into Bitcoin. If they're this patient from the early Bitcoin days until now to hold, why are they holding?
When I hear estate, I think of somebody like getting older and thinking they're going to pass away soon or something like that. That's what I think of when I hear estate sale, but that could be totally wrong.
You could be right. Yeah, could be right. Well, whoever is inheriting that money, I want to be on that list. I'm just gonna buy Monero with it. Yeah, that could be it. Shortwave. Now, here's a post from Monero. So our generous community has recently funded several proposals that will improve Monero and its ecosystem. Please find the proposals below. Thanks to everyone that donated. And what is really nice about this community is that every time there's a proposal or there's we need to fund something, the community does get together and then they do donate and we do get things funded, which is nice. And definitely, obviously helps the development. So let's go through a couple of these. Let's go through self-start part-time Monero development, 3 months. So I'm just going to cover a few of these just a little bit. The first milestone is completed, 66 Monero, and usually get the what, the who, a proposal. So the what is smaller dev work on CLI and GUI, put effort where necessary, testing and reviewing pull requests, Monero release engineering for CLI and GUI, organizing what goes into a release, compiling CLI and GUI, packaging for distribution, writing release notes, and MISC work. And then Celsa has been contributing to Monero since around 2018 with over 690 merge commits. And here we have a list of the previous Celsa's previous work that you can check out. And then this is the proposal, just how much he's charging per hour, and then what is the amount. So this is Celsa. Let's now go over Jeffro256 a little bit. First milestone out of 3, Jeffro256. And then, oh yeah, we did talk about Carrot. Carrot is awesome. So the last quarter, he wrote, I integrated Carrot into Wallet 2 scanning. I also integrated Carrot over FCMP++ transaction construction into the CLI wallet transfer command. And yeah, stuff about Carrot over here. Then the who. So who is Jeffro256. So he said, I have been contributing to the Monero core repository for over 2 years with a total of 98 merged commits to master thus far, with many open PRs. Over the last few months, I wrote up the care specification, organized auditing, for which the community graciously funded and began implementing it. And then you can see the previous proposals, the payment. Jay Berman, full-time development. And then, yeah, so let's go on this one. This is the first milestone out of 4. Work full-time, 4 months on, completing the FCMP++ integration, lots of FCMP++ things, manage the FCMP++ optimization contest, review the Carrot integration, all the documentation for the CMP++ integration, continue Seraphis wallet library work, just huge, big projects. And then, yeah, Jay Berman on GitHub. You can check out his proposals. You can check out his GitHub. And here's the proposal: 396 Monero, and how many hours, how many all of this stuff. And let's cover one more, and then we're gonna move on. And let's take Spirobel and Monero browser wallet. It's the first milestone out of 4. So who? Spirobel. He's been in the community for quite a while. He's a really good guy. I talked to him in the past. And yeah, this is cool as well. I think we showed it one time, the Monero browser wallet. But yeah, it's just the Monero browser wallet. Self-hostable, Stripe payment links alternative, multi-sig companion app, accessible cross-platform Monero library. And just talks more about it. Basically, milestones, why. I guess we'll go into why a little bit. The goal is to remove all friction from the privacy-enabled web shopping experience. Currently, most Monero shoppers have to copy and paste addresses from the Tor browser into their wallets. This opens the door to unnecessary OPSEC failures, as it is easy to get confused and intimidated by long strings of random numbers. A core part of staying private and safe online is to compartmentalize identities. Qubic's OS made some advancements in improving the UX of this activity by coloring different windows that are tied to different identities in a unique way. And the reality is that installing a different operating system is a large ask for the average person, and it really is. At the same time, we need to onboard as many people as possible to these habits, and so we can operate safely in the crowd. Yeah, so we need a lot of things in Monero to make it easy for even a grandma like your grandma or your parents, older people to use Monero, and not just the techie people. Because when you look at Bitcoin privacy, I mean, it's complicated for even us, people that have grown up with computers, let alone older people. So it's nice to see all these projects come up and all these resources that you can learn about Monero. Because like years ago, you just have mastering Monero, and then you had some more stuff, of course, but today you just have so many resources and so many beautifully made resources. Andreas, he makes really nice illustrations and all this stuff explaining how Monero works, and yes, just so many resources. I think, is he the one that made Monero Garden, I think? I know he was working on a project one time.
Yep, that was him, Monero Garden.
That was him, right? Yeah, that's a really cool project. Yeah. So it's nice. And then we talked a little bit about, so I think it's pronounced iGen wallet, not iGen, so iGen. And we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but just to mention it one more time. So it's a Monero and Bitcoin wallet with native atomic swap support, and it will be released soon, coming soon to an app store near you. Okay, and then, well, actually, let's go into iGen wallet a little bit. So the future of Monero wallets, I'm just going to briefly mention some things. So what is it? iGen Wallet is an ambitious effort to combine the frontier of crypto privacy technology in a neat, user-friendly packaging and make it accessible to all. Self-custody Monero and Bitcoin wallet is battle-tested, 3+ years Monero Bitcoin atomic swap implementation called iGen Swap. It provides network privacy with its first-class store support using RT, platform agnostic, and works on Windows, Linux, macOS, iOS, and Android. So pretty much everything you want. Form a peer-to-peer network between its users, which we call the iGen Web iGen wallet, magically syncs itself across different devices using a protocol called iGen Sync. And then tech stack. So why iGen wallet? iGen means to own in German, emphasizing the self-ownership and self-custody you hold over your funds when using iGen wallet. iGen is a prefix used for mathematical concepts. iGen values, iGen vectors, crypto and math are intrinsically intertwined. It's a cool name. And we use an algorithm called iGen Trust to build a decentralized trust system and assign a local trust score to each per we think it sounds cool. So it's a cool name and really cool. So I'm excited to cover it in the news section once it comes out.
Yeah.
Now,
so you're going to be able to do atomic swaps, right? Bitcoin to Monero atomic swaps in the wallet. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, which is nice. Like, it's huge. It's just awesome. Yeah. Now, a little bit of a meme. This is Bitcoin, this is Monero. And if you guys can't see it, because if you're just listening, then it's the picture of those CEOs on each other's arms, I guess cheating. I didn't really look into it too much, whatever. But that's Bitcoin, and then it's the same image below, and then it's kind of blurred, and you can't really see who the persons are. But that's Monero.
That's fantastic. Who posted that?
I'll take a look at this post. But wait, somebody posted something funny, I guess. I saw a reply on X to Fluffy's repost of this image. The guy added Zcash with a totally black photo and commented, "I fixed it for you." That's funny. Right, sure. I can't click on this, can I? Yeah, I don't know who is the... Why can I click on it? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who made it, but it's funny. No, it could be the same person. I don't know. But moving on.
One with Nature's asking if I'm on the beach. Yes, I'm on the beach. I'm in Portugal. It's beautiful, beautiful place.
Yep.
Crisp air, hot, cold Atlantic water, tons of fresh fish, so much food, like bountiful amounts of food around here. Just pulling seafood out of the sea.
You're probably having a lot of pastries too.
Yeah, there's a lot of pastries. I've been just trying to stay away.
Oh, you got to balance with a protein shake in between.
Doug's
I ate too much yesterday. I had a fast the whole day today.
No.
Well, yesterday, I don't know. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
So yesterday I tried for the first time barnacles. You ever had barnacles? Like literally, like you see barnacles on the side of a boat.
No,
I did not know you could eat barnacles. And actually, yes, they're all right. I mean, they're kind of bizarre. So the barnacles and sea snails. I had those yesterday. That was the two firsts for me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was good.
Was it crunchy or?
It was like, yeah. So the barnacle. I mean, it's hard to explain. I wish I could show you guys. Like, you can imagine a barnacle right on like the side of a boat. You've seen it, right? Like have like that hard, like surface shell. Like it almost looks like it is a shell, but then on the bottom is what holds the barnacle to the side of something, right? And that's like the living membrane of it. You could suck like a little meat out of the barnacle and eat it. It's pretty good. And supposedly they're very hard to like harvest because they pull them off like the side of rocks, like in the Atlantic. They're very popular around here. So that was the first. And sea snails was also the first.
Ooh.
Tiny little, like, yeah. You have to use like a toothpick or like a pin to pull them out of the shell. Pretty good.
Oh, you liked it?
So yes, I am on the beach. Yeah, no, I did. I mean, it's not something like I don't think I'll be craving it in the future. I'm not gonna be like, oh man, I can go for some of those barnacles. Like it was an experience. They're good. I mean, I'm sure they're like very good. I'm sure they have like a tremendous amount of like minerals, like zinc or something in them. But it's not something I don't think I'm gonna be craving anytime soon.
It's kind of off.
But yeah, lots of food. All right, so I'll let you wrap up the news, Tony. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's kind of off tangent, but it's so quick. I saw somebody, like, people go to Antarctica and they bring like a glass and the water is so clear and they drink it. But then I'm just thinking of they're drinking like millions of years of bacteria that melted from the glacier. I'm not sure if it's too healthy to do. I don't know why the barnacles took me there, but yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Moving on, I actually haven't seen this when it came out. This one came out 2 years ago, or maybe we talked about it. But this is Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, and I'm really happy that Lex asked him about Monero. So let's watch them talk about Monero a little bit.
We want to enable innovation in this space, but not allow anybody to curtail the advancement of this industry by like doing some kind of fraudulent thing or get rich quick thing. So
it's a tricky industry because I'm trying to figure out who to what's interesting to understand, to research.
Yeah.
And it's hard to know. Let me ask you about a tricky one to add to a centralized exchange, which is privacy preserving cryptocurrency. So like Monero.
Yeah.
Is that technically difficult, or is that why is like Monero, for example, forget that specific one, but like privacy preserving cryptocurrency blockchains, why is that ever possible to add?
So that's a great question. So the answer is maybe. So here's the reason why. So because we're a regulated financial service business, we have various licenses to do that. We are regulated by various regulators. Part of those licenses requires us to have a, quote, reasonable program to monitor for suspicious activity, an AML program, anti-money laundering, right? And so if a coin is 100% anonymous and we can't really do blockchain analytics to track source of funds and where these things might be going, it makes it harder to have a reasonable program around that's defensible. Now, there are privacy preserving coins like Zcash, which have something called a view key. And a view key is basically another key which allows you to de-anonymize the transactions in specific situations where you want that. So for instance, we do support Zcash. And one of the ways we got comfortable with that is that when you're buying it on Coinbase, you can basically have a view key. The transactions are not anonymous while you're buying it, and we can see where it goes afterwards and do our whole standard program. Now, if it gets a few hops away down the road, I mean, people could eventually turn on privacy preserving aspects. So, these are tough judgment calls, but at least in terms of our interaction with the customer and everything, we feel comfortable at that. I think there's a broader point here, which is that I actually think privacy coins are a good thing for the world, and they should be allowed. And more despite we've made this judgment call to operate in a regulated and safe and compliant way, but just taking my Coinbase hat off for a minute, I think the world would be a better place if there were more privacy coins, because it's kind of.
Well, that's nice. I'm going to continue, but I'm glad he said that.
Like the internet when it first came online, like there was no HTTPS, everything was HTTP, and there was, so people were afraid to put their credit cards on the internet, and your messages could be intercepted and all this stuff. And now the whole internet has basically moved to HTTPS with the little lock icon in your browser, which is better. Like, and financial information is like the most important information to keep private, right? So there's times where, like, let's say you're running a charity or something and you want to have total auditability, transparency for the whole world, who donated and where did the money go. That's great. You want it to be public. But if it's like your personal money or something like that, you don't want to be broadcasting that to the whole world. And in some ways, that's what blockchains are doing, pseudonymously, because but it is a public ledger. And so if you can know who owns each address, you can basically de-anonymize it. I think basically the people should fight for privacy and freedoms of all kind, but privacy of money is a good thing. So I would like to see more of that in the future.
You chosen.
Yeah, so you heard it from Brian Armstrong himself. Now, I don't like Coinbase because, as far as I know, it's pretty much a centralized exchange that asks for a lot of things, which is for a lot of KYCs compared to other centralized exchanges. But yeah, these 4 minutes in which he talked about privacy coins, I agree with this, and I hope
Tony,
there's more broadcasts. Yeah. What was that, Shortwave?
Oh, there you are. I was just saying I didn't hear you anymore, so I wasn't sure if I died or you died or what. So we're good now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
when did this first get published? This was like a year old, right? This isn't
2 years.
Right? This is like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I mean, it's also we know that Coinbase doesn't list Monero, but they list Zcash, right? So it's interesting how he's explaining why they're able to list Zcash but not Monero. Meanwhile, Monero does have view keys, right? If they really wanted to list Monero, I think they can comply in a similar way to how they're complying with Zcash effectively. It's just, my belief is that it's just the Zcash versus Monero thing with Coinbase. With the investors that are behind Coinbase, for whatever reason, I don't know. I think they have more interest in seeing Zcash succeed. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it just seems weird that in New York, Zcash is listed, but Monero isn't on these exchanges.
Yeah, it could be. But pretty much the TLDR would be Monero is 100% private, and we can't do anything about it. But Zcash is like a backdoor. So
I had this conversation with Zach Shapiro like 2 weeks ago on Monero Talk as well. That was an insightful conversation. If you want to give that a listen. I think I've been talking about this quite a lot on the show, saying that now could be the time you eliminate Bit license in New York. Zach Shapiro agrees. So if that were to happen, well, then Kraken would be available to New York customers. Kraken lists Monero, and then I'm sure you'd see Coinbase then as a way to compete, but it also participate.
Just know that if you want a proper exchange, you can go to Reto Swap button.
Yes.
Yeah.
German tipped 4 cents. The German word Eigen is pronounced as the I. The I is pronounced like the English word I. The G is a hard G sound, similar to the G in go. The EN at the end is pronounced softly, almost like a nasal sound. So Eigen value.
Eigen. That's what I thought too, but I've heard that's what I was pronouncing it before. But I've heard somebody say that it's pronounced Eigen, but Eigen sounds I'm gonna say Eigen because it just makes more sense. Yeah. So thanks for the tip, by the way. Yeah. Now,
I always thought Eigen was I just assumed Eigen was the name of the mathematician who created eigenvalues. I guess but it means Eigen just means to own.
Yeah.
It's not the mathematicians.
I thought about it too. Now, you guys probably seen this picture before. Bitcoiners like to post it, basically. Spot the difference, and you have on the left side crypto, like all the cryptos, Litecoin, all this stuff, and then you have on the right side Bitcoin, and then you have a comparison, and which is crypto easily co-opted, Bitcoin can be co-opted, crypto changeable and obscure rules, Bitcoin fixed rules, crypto the goal is more fiat, Bitcoin replaces fiat, I guess, crypto corruptible leaders and rulers, Bitcoin no leader and rulers. Crypto rug pulls are possible. Bitcoin rug pulls are impossible. So now we have crypto and Bitcoin, but I wish we had the crypto bit versus Bitcoin and then versus Monero. But we do have the Bitcoin and Monero. I just wish we had all three in the same one. So somebody should make it. But this is spot the difference again, but this time let's do Bitcoin and Monero. So Bitcoin easily co-opted. Monero can be co-opted. Bitcoin ASIC mining. Monero is ASIC resistant. Bitcoin loved by the government. It's owned by the government.
Hey, Doug, can you mute yourself?
Monero, it's hated by the government. Or, it's probably hated for the population to have it, but probably somebody in the government has Monero, and they're buying Monero and using Monero. They could be using Cake Wallet. I don't know. Bitcoin corruptible leaders, Monero no leaders and rulers. Bitcoin transparent. It's transparent. Monero is fungible. I was by Cypherpunk. Okay. Yeah, he made this image. But yeah, pretty much. So if anybody wants to make a crypto versus Bitcoin versus Monero, spot the difference image, that'll be cool. That'll be nice to share. But yeah, another thing, it's yes, privacy, but also it brings fungibility. That's very, very important because €1 equals to €1, and that's it. Like you can see that euro was used by Ursula von der Leyen, and now it's worth more, or it's been used by I don't know what public figure, and then it's going to be worth more. You need fungibility. Like that's also something very, very important in a currency and privacy. So, yep. Now, a little bit about Qubic, the fastest blockchain ever. I've looked into it, but not too deep to get technical about it. But essentially, Qubic is the fastest blockchain ever verified on mainnet, 15.5 million TPS certified by Certic. And as you can see on this chart, it is getting traction. It's pretty used. As you can see in mining pool stats, it's the second most used pool. And then the person who posted the image said, I think and insist peer-to-peer pool mini, and peer-to-peer pool nano as only allowed pools to avoid any 51% attack. Qubic is currently top 2 of hash rate, has quite a bit of hash rate. And I wonder how their hash rate is going to go up with time. And also, let's go to this one. So we have a mod say, I'm fucking tired, and it's basically about Qubic. So a reminder that every useless Qubic post, mods have to deal with all the bots in comments. You don't see that as many people need to be manually approved to be seen, but in between honest people with low karma and actual bots, we're swimming in bullshit every time we open a Qubic related post. This is becoming unbearable and also annoying for users. Think twice before posting about it. Thanks. What are the mods? And then these are just screenshots of people, needing to be approved for their comments to be pushed in. So, if you're gonna post about Qubic, then I guess think twice about it. But yes, essentially on Qubic, if you don't know, you can buy Monero, and as far as I know, you get more money. Like it's much faster and all this stuff. But then people were talking about 51% attacks. So, just be careful. Also, I also like what somebody said. It's quite funny. I think it's a project that does nothing. The creator has convinced idiots to mine XMR for him with the promise of buying and burning set of worthless tokens. How will they know that he's skimming some of the topic they want because it's Monero? Yeah, so I don't know what to say about.
I would actually comment on this a bit. I
Yeah,
saw
sure.
this pop up a couple days ago, I guess, again. And so I did the math. I just checked it out. How many blocks have they mined in the last 10 days and how many blocks have there been? And they've mined 11% of the blocks, which is about the same that they had like 3 months ago when the Hitler Youth were sitting here, running around like chickens about this issue. This, like, if these guys want to contribute 11% to our hash rate, great. Like, we need more hash rate. I don't see the problem. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm the first one to say that, hey, I think that Binance and these other exchanges probably covered their fractional reserve by making under the table deals with guys like NiceHash to eventually cover for, the Monero that they didn't have. And that people can mine Monero, throw money at it to mine Monero, to use it to sell down the price, right? Like that's one of the other things I heard. Well, they're just going to mine Monero and sell down the price. Like, well, yeah, that's something you can do, and that's like basically the price that we pay for a robust ecosystem.
That's actually a good thing. According to Mining Pool Stats Stream right now, Qubic has 13% of the hash rate. So if they're going to contribute 13% of the hash rate and immediately sell the Monero to push the price down, that's a good thing. It gives us cheaper Picos.
I mean, I don't know if I would say that's necessarily a good thing. I would rather miners that intended to hold and spend and use Monero as opposed to trade it for fiat. I would rather that, but I mean, it's it's part of the game. Like that's the economics of mining. Like it's just something that we have to contend with. So it's not a problem until we see these. Maybe they have 13% now. It varies obviously, but for the past 10 days, 11% was the amount of blocks that they've mined. So okay, if they start moving up, and again, that was the same 2 months ago. So if they start moving up, 15, 20, 25%. Okay, maybe we start saying, oh, could there be a problem here? Thus far, there's nothing to worry about. This isn't a problem. The Hitler Youth are just giving these guys free marketing. That's all that's happening. But they're probably their response is, well, it's good if we can get more people to mine. So even if it's not quite totally true, at least we have visibility and more people are mining. And okay, sure, whatever. Fine, why not?
It's so wild, man. Have you looked into this guy at all, Body, the creator, Qubic?
Nah, I mean, he seems shady and weird, and he won't talk to anybody, and he like has weird posts, and he feels like a bot. He's probably not a bot. I don't know.
But I think he has a long history, right? I think he's like a real OG. I think he was even involved in Monero.
Was he? I don't know.
Yeah.
Why do we think that? What's the reason for believing that?
I don't know. I've seen this around X. I've looked into it a little bit. I actually reached out to him to try to get him to do an interview, and he did not respond. And people were like, he would never go on your show. But the rumor is, I have not verified. Looked into it. If anybody knows, please jump on. Viewers on stage. If anybody wants to come up and talk about it, that has insights into this, that's been following it, please feel free to jump up. I know people want to talk about it. I really don't have much to say. I mean, other than, I agree with Body's take. That's how I currently see it as well. I think it's interesting how effective they're being with marketing their coin by threatening Monero. But then I also see him not threatening, saying that he would never want to hurt Monero. I don't know if he's being sarcastic at that point. I don't know. I'm not really following closely enough to understand the nuances, but it does just seem like a guy who's figured out a way how to market his coin by creating controversy. And I do think it's funny that the Monero Hitler part of the Monero ecosystem seems to be most upset by this, right? Is that what you were saying, Buddy?
I mean, they're the only guys I've ever seen I
guess they're the maxis. They're the Monero. They're the maxis of Monero, right? So they're there on on the
Yeah,
front
I mean,
lines.
they're the ones that are like sky is falling. Oh my God, what's sensationalist bullshit. And of course,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
thought it
of
was
course,
funny too. They were
of course
trying to throw us.
sensationalist.
They were trying to
Right.
like put shade on us, saying like, "Why aren't we talking about it?" Like suggesting there's some conspiracy or something. Like that's. I don't know where they're trying to go with that one.
I mean, it's
Like, why
fine.
is
They're
why
always
isn't
that's
Doug
their
and
angle on
Bonnie
everything.
talking about it? Yeah, it's just
That's their take on everything. They're like, oh well, the OGs, they're ignoring this. Why are they're always like every post is like, why has no one talked about this? It's so like 3 years ago, marketing on your social media, like no one's talking about this. No one's this one weird trick. It's like, all right, whatever, sure, fine, guys. You're appealing to at least a certain segment, and everybody needs money, so all right, good enough.
Do you think maybe they're trying to pump Qubic or something? No.
Who knows?
They're not that freaky tested. I haven't been following it either. I mean, has the price been like pumping? I did look at it like a couple of months back when it first came onto the scene, and like they were throwing these Monero threats around.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely don't pay them any attention. I just happened to see a post. Honestly, I haven't even seen much noise on X, just like that one post. So I just don't pay any attention at the moment. Those guys have 20% of the hash rate for 10 days rolling. Okay, then I'll start to pay attention. Until then, I just don't care.
And do you understand, like, what are they saying their purpose is for mining on Monero? Like, why did they choose Monero? Obviously, their proof of work goes towards, right, like AI,
right.
And then the other half of their proof of work goes towards.
Honestly, I know nothing about them. Like, if you hadn't mentioned AI, like, or someone, it was you or someone else mentioned AI a couple days. I had no idea about that. Like, to me, they're just like, they have a shitcoin, okay, whatever, and they're mining Monero, cool. Like that's as far as I've looked at them. I don't go investigate Nanopool and Hashvault and C3 Pool and like who's behind them. Are they OGs? Are they going to dump their coins? Oh my God! Like I just don't care. Right? It's just not in my purview of things. You can only care about so many things in a day, and this just isn't one of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not just the traditional pool though, right? Because it is connected to some cryptocurrency. So it's interesting in that respect. That's a first. I've seen.
I mean, maybe they're gamifying mining in some way by adding another coin on top. It's just, in my mind, somewhere in my brain, I just slot that into like sheaming, and I'm like, whatever. I don't have time to look at every sheam. But thanks for the 11% hash rate, bros. Like, maybe that's good.
All right. Well, we'll see where things go. If anybody ever wants to come up and talk about it, that has a very in-depth view on things.
We give it far more airtime here than it probably deserves.
Agree.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't want it to turn into like Qubic people now, like coming onto MoneroTopia. Like, I mean, they seem to be like all over the place.
They're definitely attracting people financially because they show this chart, and I guess it's true. I don't know. On Monero, you make $0.64 a day. On Tari, 1.65, but if you use Qubic, it's $3.13. So yeah, definitely got people with that. But yeah, so moving on, and I think that's the last thing that we have for today. Yeah, so just a little bit of an update on the Samurai indictment. So they pretty much they're painting Samurai Wallet as if the developer's sole purpose was to build this service for crime. Which is kind of ridiculous. So the Southern District of New York has filed a superseding indictment against Samurai Wallet developers Keone Rodriguez and William Hill. The indictment expands the charge timeline by 2 months from February 2024 to April 2024, adding $150 million to the alleged criminal proceeds laundered, now totaling $250 million. Additionally, to add drug trafficking to the description of the allegedly laundered funds, and additionally removes all but one mention of unlicensed money transmission, including all references to 18 U.S.C. governing federal money service business licensing requirements, in line with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche's April memo. The new indictment yet continues to charge the developers under count 2 with conspiracy to operate an unlicensed money transmitting business, despite the fact that many other jurisdictions have been dropping cases based on Blanche's memo that we covered, and then anonymity is a crime. So the new indictment extends the government's description of Samurai Wallet to include that the defendants intentionally did not require Samurai customers to provide KYC or KYC information to Samurai, noting that Rodriguez and Hill advertised and promoted the fact that Samurai's customers could use the Whirlpool or Ricochet functions without providing any identifying information to Samurai. This deliberate decision to not implement KYC encouraged and enabled its customers to engage in transactions meant to conceal the nature, location, source, ownership, and control of criminal proceeds by making those transactions more difficult to trace. Pretty much just saying that they allow people to just have privacy, and that's a crime. That's horrible. That the fact that they allow people to have privacy. That's basically what they're trying to say. And the new indictment continues to highlight that the developers specifically promoted Samurai for its ability to allow customers to engage in anonymous transactions. Ooh, that's a crime, right? And then we see the X handle of TDEV here in the paper. But yeah, this is what it basically talks about. And then one more thing. So the indictment continues to cite statements made on the Samurai Wallet website, stressing that the developers promoted Samurai's lack of KYC procedures, quoting that Samurai is described as a modern Bitcoin wallet, hand-forged to keep your transaction private, your identity masked, and your funds secure, as well as a description which read, "Be your own Swiss bank, no email, no address, no ID checks, no hassle." Which just, it all just sounds like you should not have privacy. Like, this is all a crime. The fact that you want to mask your identity and your funds and all these things from the world because you don't want people to see what you're doing because it's not their business. Now, obviously, I want all criminals to be caught and in jail for what they've done and all these things, but they're punishing everybody and using that as an excuse to control your privacy, essentially. But yeah, so this is just a bit of an update on the situation of the Samurai Wallet. So basically, privacy and anonymity is a crime. But all the stuff sound great to me and to you, to us, masking your identity, your funds, and being able to do what you want to do without the whole world seeing it or looking into what you're doing. So yeah, I thought it was interesting and quite amusing a little bit. But yeah, guys, so this was a news section. We covered some really interesting stuff, and I'll see you guys next week for more things.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, guys.